Hello everybody and welcome to Sunday Morning Knits, my channel where I talk about all of the knitting and spinning and crochet and fiber crafts that I have been getting up to lately. Today is episode 23 and it's been about a month since I last filmed. I kind of struggled with the motivation to film. It was a busy month, but I'm feeling good today and I have a lot to share. So let's jump right in with finished objects. You might notice that what I'm wearing is a finished object. I am so happy to be finally done this. This is my Sunshine Tee by Andrea Gone Knits. I've been working on this for a very long time. I think I started it June of last year. Yes, I started it in June for the Sunshine Tee Cal when the t-shirt came out. So it's been a while. I knit this with Knitting for Olive. I think this is the cotton merino. No, this is the merino. This is the Knitting for Olive merino in the colorway Puppy Rose. I really love this shirt. I love the way it fits. It's so soft and so comfy. I love the little like cap sleeves. I think I made them a tiny bit shorter than, yes. Oh my gosh, I already don't even remember. I finished this like a month ago. I finished it right after I filmed the last podcast. So it's been a bit. But I made the sleeves a little bit shorter than Andrea recommends, but that's because I like more of a cap sleeve look than like a longer t-shirt sleeve look. That's just my vibe. Yeah, and I really love it. I really love wearing merino even in the hot months because I find it's still like nice and cooling and like temperature regulating, which is really lovely. My only qualm with this shirt is that the neck is really tight. I have a lot of trouble getting this over my head, and I think that's 100% my fault. I have a very big head, and so it's a little hard to get over my head, but that's okay. I am tempted to like block this a second time and like vigorously block the neck. I think I could stretch it out a little bit. I think I could. So yeah, that's my first finished object. I'm very happy with it. Yeah, just in time for the summer, which is perfect. My next finished object is my April book club socks that you would have seen in the last episode. These are a pair of very basic socks that I didn't use a pattern for. I've made so many socks at this point that I don't generally need to use patterns. It is using the April book club colorway from Paisley Knits book club yarn club last year, 2024. This color was inspired by Normal People by Sally Rooney, which I haven't read yet. I still want to. I will get around to it at some point. And I just love it. I actually almost bought a sweater's quantity of this colorway because I love it so much. I did a little contrast cast on, so you can see the contrast cast on, and then contrast heels and toes. I'm very happy to be finally done this. My goal this year is to finish up all of the book club yarn club sock sets that I got last year. I'm actually doing really well. I have June, September, October, November, and December to do, and I've already cast on June and December, which I'll talk about shortly. So I'm doing well. We're getting there. We're getting through them, which is good because I want to do socks for the sock club I'm part of this year really badly. I actually cast one of them on already this month too. So yeah. I'm just in a sock knitting mood right now, apparently. I went through like a sweater phase for the first quarter of the year, and now I'm back in a sock phase. That's the way this goes. So yeah, these are my June socks. I knit them on size 1mm, US size 1 needles. And I like them. I like how they turned out. Can't wait to wear them. I'm gonna talk about my half finished object next because my last finished object comes with an asterisk. So my half finished object is my June socks. No, these are my June socks. Yeah. They're on a larger blocker than they should be, so they look kind of gigantic right now, but that's okay. It's just for podcast purposes, because my April socks are on the 2 normal blockers that I use. So these are my June socks. I did a contrast cuff and a contrast toe this time for a little bit of difference. So my heel is just the same color as the body, the main color of the sock. I really love this. This is like the pastel sock of my dreams. Oh, sorry, I have to hide my face. Like, look how beautiful that is. There's no pooling. I just think Coley absolutely killed it with this colorway. This is inspired by Beach Read by Emily Henry, which is a book that I absolutely love. I'm a big fan of Emily Henry books, and Beach Read was very, very cute, I don't know, I just really loved it. I thought it was a fantastic book. One thing I did differently with this sock is I did a tubular cast on the top, and I don't really like it. I normally do a German twisted cast on because that's just my favorite cast on. I like the way that it looks the most. But I recently casted on a pair of socks using a pattern from somebody else, which is something I very rarely do. But I'll talk about that more in the works in progress section. And it called for a tubular cast on, and I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot that you can do that. Let's try it on my June socks. And I just think it looks messy, which is really sad. It'll be interesting to see how it looks once I'm like wearing it more. I don't know if I'm gonna like it. It might like stretch out funny, or it might look totally fine. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. I hope it turns out okay, because I really love the colors in this. And I recently got a pair of Birkenstock clogs that I found on Poshmark for like over half off, and they're pink, and I think they're gonna look so perfect with this. I can't wait. Okay, my next finished object is complicated. So I finally finished my Stornoway sweater, which I started for the Stornoway Sweater Squad Cal, hosted by the wonderful twins who knit and Casey from Young Folk Knits. So this is my Stornoway. I can't get it all on screen. Ta-da! I've talked about some of my issues with this pattern in the past, namely that there's this weird like broken rib stripe like halfway through the pattern, and also the pattern photo doesn't match the pattern itself. But I've come across another issue. I finished it according to pattern, blocked it, and then was like, the sleeves are so short, which is weird because like I had actually tried the sweater on like with the sleeve length and it was fine. I don't know what happened. Maybe the designer designed this with a superwash yarn and it grew a ton, and so the pattern was accounting for that. I don't know. I didn't look at the yarn that the designer uses. But when I put it on, the sleeves came to like here. They like weren't quite 3/4 length sleeves, but they also like weren't bracelet length sleeves. And I wore it around for like a week. And I was like, I hate this. So I posted on Instagram and was like, do I just keep wearing it and hope that it stretches out? Or do I add more length to the sleeves? And Coley of Paisley Knits DM'd me and was like, what kind of yarn are you using? And I was like, single ply, non-superwash. I'm using Malabrigo worsted. And she was like, oh yeah, it's not going to stretch out. Non-superwash yarn has a really good memory, so it like shrinks back up even if you block it out, because of the properties of the non-superwash yarn. And I was like, how did I not know that? I've made sweaters with non-superwash yarn before, and some of them have stretched out and some of them haven't, so that makes sense. And apparently this sweater is not going to stretch out. So I was like, I guess I have to add a length to the sleeves. So what I did was in this stripe on my sweater, which was technically the last stripe before the sleeve, the last colored stripe before the sleeve, I did some surgery. So on my second row, I picked up all the right loops of the stitches, and then on my fourth row, I picked up all the right loops of the stitches with a different needle, and I like cut the third row out. That way I could just start knitting, and I knit 2 more stripes. So I knit these 2, and I, pardon me, and then I Kitchener stitched the cuff back onto the sleeve. Now you're probably wondering, why didn't you just rip back? It's because I did not want to unpick the tubular bind off. That sounded so painful. It's like, I'm not doing this. I'm not unpicking the tubular bind off. I'm just gonna do surgery. And I felt confident doing that because I'd actually done it before. I did that kind of surgery on my Flutterbutt shirt by Jessie Made Designs, which I wore to flock, which wasn't perfect because the tension of my Kitchenering was off, and so there's like a weird line where you can actually see that I've done the Kitchenering, but whatever, it was my first time doing it. And honestly, this isn't perfect either. Oops, that's not the right sleeve. This isn't perfect either, but the yarn is so dark that you actually can't really tell. So I'm happy with that. I am still on the other sleeve. So this has gone from being a finished object back to being a work in progress. So this is the cuff of my sleeve, and once I've added enough length, I will Kitchener it back together. It is a bit of a pain, but I really love this sweater, so I'm excited to have it actually fit. One other thing I've noticed about this sweater is that I added length in the body. I added an entire repeat to the body. So the sweater was actually supposed to end here, and then you were supposed to start the ribbing, but I added like 3 or 4 inches. And I still find the sweater's pretty short. It doesn't look short on the designer, and it doesn't look short on the smaller sizes. So I'm wondering if the designer just has odd proportions for her bigger sizes. I obviously haven't looked into this. I haven't read anybody else's notes on Ravelry. This is just coming from my own experience knitting my size. I knit I don't remember what size I knit. What are the bigger sizes? So I'm wondering if maybe the designer just has odd proportions for her bigger sizes. Like it doesn't proportionally increase. Or maybe it does proportionally increase, but that doesn't fit the bigger sizes properly. I'm not sure. I've also never knit any of the designer's other patterns. This pattern is by cocoamour knitwear, by the way, in case you're curious. It is a fully size inclusive pattern, which is excellent. It just this size kind of fits me oddly, which is very strange because I have a very short torso. I'm very tall, I'm 5'9", but I have a really short torso and really long legs. So oftentimes sweaters are kind of too long on me, and like the cropped kind of style right now works really well because I have such a short waist. But like this was way too cropped. And even now it is still fairly cropped on me, even though I've lengthened it quite a bit. So if you've had proportion issues, please let me know in the comments. I'm curious if this is just a me and my size issue, or if this is maybe in all the bigger sizes or all the sizes issue. I don't know. I'm curious. Let me know. One of the wonderful things about knitting, though, is you can always adjust things to your preferred length. That's the whole point, making clothes that fit you and your body properly. So it's not like this is a huge issue, but just something I thought I would mention. So yeah, that's my Stornoway. You'll probably see her one more time in the next podcast when I am finally done. I feel like this has taken me forever, even though it's been on my needles nowhere near as long as like the Sunshine Tee has. it feels like it's just taken forever. So I'm excited to be done. So that's my Stornoway. Let me see if I have any other finished objects or half finished objects to talk about. No, that's it. Okay, let's talk about my many works in progress. I have so many. Okay, so we've already talked about my Stornoway, which has moved from the finished object category back into the WIP category. I should be done that fairly soon. Like I undid the second sleeve last night. I should be done like tonight or tomorrow. So I'm almost done. We're getting there. One of my works in progress is my other June sock. I'm not going to talk too much about this because I've already talked about my June socks, but here's one of my other works in progress. This is currently my backpack project that I bring to campus with me often, although that has been sidelined by some other projects. Okay, this one is also not super exciting because you have been seeing it forever. But I did put a little bit of work into my Saskie sweater this week, which is lovely. I'm at kind of a boring part. I get stuck on body island all the time. I know people talk about sleeve island, but like it's body island for me. I find sleeves to be totally fine because like you're done them fast. And then you're like, I have a done sleeve. But if you're like me, I mean, this goes for everybody, but I think especially for the bigger sizes, there's so much stockinette body to knit. Like you're knitting forever. So I'm also knitting this sweater super oversized. I am knitting a size 10 when I should have knit like a size 8 or something like that. But I really wanted it to be oversized, and also I'm a little terrified of colorwork, which is hilarious because the very first sweater I ever knit was actually a colorwork yoke sweater. For some reason, I just decided that if I was going to knit a sweater, it was going to be colorwork. Like, no need to start with an easy sweater, jump right into colorwork. I mean, I'd knit like 48,000 pairs of socks by that point. So I was fairly confident in my knitting skills and my ability to like figure it out. But still, my first sweater was a colorwork yoke and it was perfect. But I've struggled with colorwork ever since, hilariously. So I sized up just to make sure, especially that the yoke would fit, because like it's so beautiful, and also fitting because I'm actually filming this on Easter and these bunnies. Although this is Wei Chin of Saskie and Co released this not for Easter, although there's currently a sale on her Saskie stuff for Easter right now. I believe it was for Chinese New Year. I'm not 100% sure. I might be confusing this with the moon bun jumper. I don't know. But I am filming this on Easter and the bunnies are kind of perfect. But anyway, sorry, that was a very long tangent for me to say I worked on the body. I have passed where I had originally intended to make the sweater. So I was going to make it the crop length, and I got to the point where it like said in the pattern to make it cropped, and I was like, oh, I don't like this. So I just continued, and now I'm not quite at the point that the pattern says to make it if you want to make a full length sweater. I think I'm just gonna try this on and see how it works, because again, I have weird proportions, like a really, really short waist and like really long legs. Maybe this will work now, I don't know. I've been just on Body Island forever, which is a bit of a slog. I really just want to be done this sweater because this is another one that's been on my needles since like May of last year. I'm coming up on having it on my needles for a year, and I really want to wear it. I've been missing my bunny extra lately. His name was Arrow. So I kind of want to wear this to remember my bunny. It's hard missing pets. I know that Wei Chin of Saskie and Co recently lost to Saskie, and posts about it often. It's really hard losing a pet. Yeah, so that's my Saskie sweater. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention is I am knitting this with Cascade 220 non-superwash sport weight yarn. This sweater actually calls for fingering weight yarn. I'm knitting it with sport weight yarn because I didn't like how gappy the fingering weight yarn that I had chosen was. This yarn's fine. Like I'm actually currently using it in another project too. And I was like, oh, it's fine. It's kind of woolly. It's meh yarn. Like, I'd say it's a middle of the road yarn. Really affordable, which is lovely. And then I washed it and I blocked it. And now it is one of my favorite yarns ever. It softened up so beautifully. And it has such a stunning drape. Oh, it's kind of blowing out a little bit. It has such a stunning drape to it. And the way that it feels is just amazing. So I am thoroughly impressed with this yarn. I know that Rebecca of the Crayabea talks about this yarn all the time. And when I tried it, I was like, oh yeah, it's a good yarn. It's a nice woolly yarn. I did not know how beautifully this yarn blocks. And also the red didn't bleed, which was amazing. Actually, that's not true. It bled like the tiniest bit, because when I pulled this sweater out of the water was a little bit pink. I had a color catcher in the water when I blocked it, and there was no ink on it, or there was no dye on it or anything like that. And I don't think there's been any bleeding onto the bunnies or anything like that, but the water was like a touch pink. I'm not worried. But yeah, this yarn blocks out so beautifully. If you are looking for a good budget yarn that is absolutely amazing, I highly recommend you check out Cascade. Did I say Heritage? No, this is Cascade 220. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful yarn. So that's my Saskie sweater. Hopefully I'll be done it fairly soon because I just want to wear it. Yeah. Okay, what's next? Let's talk about my Dido Tee. So I talked about this in my last episode. I am, or was, because the test is over, doing a test knit for Sari Nordland for the Dido Tee. Ta-da! Oh, you can't really see the sleeve. I think it is so beautiful. I just absolutely adore the lace pattern on this shirt. It is stunning. I finished everything that I needed to for the test. For Sari Nordland tests, you just have to finish one sleeve and join in under the arms, and that's it. I have a little bit of issue with that kind of test just because it means, like, from a designer's perspective, it means that you don't know how much yarn people needed to knit your garment. So I've heard many times that Sari Nordland patterns underestimate how much yarn you actually need for the design because of that. So that was odd. But I couldn't resist. I thought the lace was just the most beautiful thing ever. So yeah, I finished everything I needed to for the test. I had some issues with this just because, and they're fully my own fault. I like joined in the underarms and then started to knit one of the sleeves, and then for some reason decided to go back to the body and like messed up where I was in the chart because I didn't mark down well enough where I was in the chart, and then knit a whole bunch on the body and the lace was like really messed up, so I had to go back and rip back a ton and that was really annoying. I got so frustrated, I just like pulled my needle out and like started frogging the yarn, which is not something I normally recommend doing because then you have to pick up stitches and that can be a nightmare. So I don't recommend that, but that's what I did. I really love the detail on the back. The lace goes all the way to the back panel, and then you have this really pretty shoulder detail. Oh no, don't focus on me. Yeah, there we go. I think it'll look even cuter once I attach the collar. I haven't worked on this a ton since the test completed on Monday just because I've been prioritizing something else that I'll show in a second. But I do really love it. I can't wait to wear it. I'm still not a huge fan of the yarn, in case you're curious. Pardon me, I have the hiccups. My opinion has not changed from my last episode. If you didn't see my last episode, if you're just tuning in now, I am using Rerum Natura Candide for this project, and I don't like it. It's just such an odd yarn. Like, it's already pilled, like the yarn itself is pilled. So you see those pills in the shirt, and it makes my stitches very uneven. Not a big fan. I do like that it is botanically dyed. I think that's really cool. I like that it uses recycled cotton from t-shirts. Also super cool. But I don't think I'd pick this yarn again. So I picked it because it's what Sari used for her sample. But I'm not a huge fan. We shall see if I wear this enough once I'm done. If not, I will give it to a friend or something. Hopefully they'll use it a little bit more than me. So that is my Dido Tee test knit. Oh, I'm making a size 6. I forgot to mention that. Okay. Yes. So the thing that I have been prioritizing over my Dido Tee test knit is this. Oh, it's tangled. I have a new sock design on my needles. I'm calling these the EOS socks. They're very similar to something else you're going to see fairly soon. And they are a kind of crosshatch pattern, as you can see, with various different textures within the diamonds themselves. So this here is a little flower, a little lace flower, which you can't really tell because lace never looks right until it's blocked. And then there's also moss stitch and then plain stockinette. This is obviously the leg of the sock. I cast this on a couple days ago because I was very inspired and I'm loving it. So keep your eyes peeled for a test call for these socks coming soon. If you don't want to miss it, make sure to sign up for my newsletter. I always send out my test calls via my newsletter. And the link for that is going to be in the show notes. You can also follow me on Instagram. I put out my calls there as well. So I'm very excited. I've never done, I guess that's not 100% true. I was going to say I've never done a lace or a sock that has texture all the way around. I have, but it was kind of a different case. There was like one kind of texture on the front and one kind of texture on the back, so it's a lot easier. There's a lot of math that went into making this one work. So I love it. I'm very excited. And this is using my December Sock Club colorway from Paisley Knits. So yeah, 2 birds, 1 stone, which is great. Yeah, and I'm just absolutely loving it. I never do socks on Magic Loop, in case you're wondering. I think this is the first time I've ever done socks on Magic Loop, and I don't love it, but it's what works best right now for the leg of the sock. So my socks are happening on Magic Loop. That's fine. I love it. I'm so excited. I hope you like it too. I can't wait. These socks will hopefully come out mid to end of June. So the test call will be coming out in May. Keep your eyes peeled. Okay. Oh, there's another pair of socks that I've been working on. These are not my pattern, and I've had these socks on my needles for a literal year. And so I decided it's finally time for them to get off my needles. I am knitting the Poet Socks by Sari Nordland. Like I said, lace always looks funny before it's blocked. And these are not blocked yet, so please forgive that it looks a little bit odd, but I promise these are the Poet Socks. Prior to picking them out this week, I only had about this much done, and I've knit the rest of the leg, and I did the heel flap and gusset, and now I'm just doing gusset decreases. I don't remember when I cast these on, but I definitely had them on my needles for flock because I met Sari and I told her and I was working on her poet socks. So they've been on my needle since at least August, which is a little crazy because I knit socks really fast. I just put them down for a while. Don't know why. I'm excited to have this one done. I'm really hoping I don't get second sock syndrome and I can cast the other one on immediately and not worry about it. But we'll see. This is using a very old Sunday Fiber Co colorway, in case you're interested. I actually don't remember what it's called, and I got it like 3 or 4 years ago. It's so beautiful, but I'm so sorry I don't remember what it's called. Yeah, so those are my poet socks. I have one more knitting work in progress to share. I don't remember if I talked about this in my last episode. I definitely had it cast on in the last episode, but I had almost none of it done, so I don't know if I talked about it. Or I had like barely started it, so I don't know if I talked about it. But I am knitting the Late Checkout Sweater by Kika. I absolutely love it. It's on tiny needles right now, like a tiny circular, so it looks kind of funky, but I promise it is a normal sweater. And this is the Late Checkout Sweater by Kika. I wanted just a really plain, nice, oversized sweater, and I've been looking for one for a while because I have this idea to put elbow patches on it, but do the elbow patches in the shape of like little felted bunnies. Last year I tested the little bunny patch for I'm drawing a blank on who. Bee Mandarins or something like that is her email or Instagram name. I don't remember. I'll pop it on screen. And I had the thought of adding them to the sleeves of a sweater. So I've been on the hunt for a sweater, and when I saw Kika release this one, I was like, oh, that's the sweater. So I'm working on the Late Checkout Sweater. It's been extremely easy. It is a very beginner friendly sweater. There is still shaping and everything like that, but it's very beginner friendly, which is lovely. I am using Knitpicks Eco Worsted in the colorway Wilhelmina. If you've seen my 2024 favorites, this is one of my favorite yarns, and it still is. Like, this yarn will forever hold a place in my heart. I just adore it. It is kind of sheepy. It's still next to Skin Soft for me. I love this yarn. It wears so beautifully. It blocks beautifully. It is non-superwash. It does stretch out a little bit. I just love it. And it's this beautiful, the color is not showing up completely properly on camera, but it is this beautiful like gray brown color, which I think will look very lovely on me. And then the little bunny patches are just going to be the cutest things ever. So this has kind of come with me whenever I want easy knitting and like big knitting. I'm also on Body Island. Once I've done this ball though, I'll switch to doing the sleeves and the collar, because I find sweaters look very strange when they don't have a collar attached, and that kind of bothers me. But as you know, stockinette in the round for the body is not necessarily always my favorite thing to do. So it's a little bit boring right now. I just need to finish the ball and I'm almost done, and I'll do some sleeves and then hopefully finish my Saskie sweater and then get stuck on Body Island for this sweater. So that's apparently how I do things. But yeah, I'm loving it. It's my Late Checkout Sweater by Kika. Oh, and I'm knitting size 5? I think I'm knitting size 5, maybe size 6. I don't know. One of those two. Yeah, it's lovely. Okay, I have a few spinning works in progress to share. The first one I'm going to share is actually one that I have had on my spindle for a long time. I actually started this during Tour de Fleece last year, and since Tour de Fleece is coming up, I was like, maybe I should actually finish this. I am spinning this on my Turkish drop spindle, and this is Thyme by Little Fiber Co. And I cannot remember what the, oh, come on. No. I can't remember what fiber this is, but I was gonna say it feels like rambouillet. No, it's not soft enough to be rambouillet. I don't know what fiber this is, but this came from her Mystery Cookware Club from last year, and I really love it. I got a 2-ounce bump of fiber, and this was my 3rd spin of Tour de Fleece that I started. I spun her Cherise, and I Can Buy Myself Flowers, and then this was my 3rd one. Obviously I did not finish it. That's okay. I split the fiber in 2. I'm gonna do a 2-ply, and this is all I have left of the first half, and then I'll spin the second half. It's just been fun to kind of like pick up and do a little bit on every once in a while. It'll probably come with me to Spinning Guild the next time I go to Spinning Guild, because I always get a lot of spinning done when I'm there, obviously. And it's a good way to make myself work on spins that I wouldn't necessarily want to do in my free time, because I have my spinning wheel that I adore. So yeah, finally working on my Thyme spin. Thyme like T-H-Y-M-E, in case you're curious, not T-I-M-E. And I'm very excited. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it, because it's only going to be 2 ounces, but that is okay. Spinning it on the Turkish drop spindle is a lot of fun. I actually got this Turkish drop spindle during Tour de Fleece last year, and I'd never spun on one before. So that was really cool. It's a lot of fun. Okay, wheel spins. I finished my first braid of the... It's not the Snow Shine. This is going to be the other colorway that I'm using in my project that I have planned for the Snow Shine spin. I think it's called Dawn. It was her January from the archive. It was Little Fiber Co, because everything I spin is pretty Little Fiber Co, because I just love everything Lauren does. This is the January from the archives colorway. I believe it's called Dawn. You can tell that my spin isn't perfect. There's actually a little section right here that's overspun, which is kind of annoying. I'm not a perfect spinner, but that's okay. Practice. Practice makes perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. I am improving very slowly. We're getting there. So I finished the first braid. I haven't started the second braid yet because I actually started a different project. I was a little bit tired of just like one single color. And regardless of how beautiful it was, I just wanted something a little bit different. But this is the first braid. I'm gonna do a 2-ply so that it matches with the Snow Shine colorway, which was also a 2-ply that I have showed before. And I think it's gonna be a really beautiful little shawl. It's not gonna be little, it's actually gonna be quite a big shawl. It's 4 braids, so 16 ounces. It's gonna be a big shawl. I can't wait. Oh, and this is Rambouillet. So my favorite fiber ever. I love it so much. I also put some work into this spin. This is my March Fiber Club colorway from La Mercerie. I am part of their fiber club, monthly fiber club. This is the colorway, I don't remember. Actually, do I have another braid here? I have 2 braids of this, and I'm still working on the first braid. I can't remember. It is non-superwash merino, which has been a challenge. Sorry, it is superwash merino, which has been a challenge to spin because holy crap, it's slippery. So that's been a challenge, but I'm almost done my second bobbin. This is the first bobbin, so this actually isn't the bobbin I'm working on, but I don't want to take the bobbin off my wheel because that is annoying. And I'm doing a 1-3 fractal for the first braid, and for the second braid I'm gonna just spin it end to end. I'm gonna split it in half and then spin those 2 halves end to end and then preserve the like color changes, because I want to make a shawl out of these 2 and highlight the 2, like how color management when you're spinning can change what the yarn looks like. So it's a little bit of like a case study spin knit for me. I'm very excited to see how it goes. I'm gonna do like a little shawlette because it'll be 2 skeins worth. So I love it. it's gonna be really cool. I just love the colors. My partner and I comment on how beautiful the colors are in this braid all the time. So that is my other current spin. Oh, that's totally not true. I do actually have one more. I forgot that my spinning wheel was charging. My electric eel wheel is charging behind me, and this is my next spin. So I have had the Little Fiber Co countdown in my stash for a while because I couldn't decide how I wanted to spin it. And I started spinning it on a supported spindle, which I actually have right here at Spinning Guild, and then decided that I didn't want to continue spinning it the way that I had planned. I didn't spin much of it. I spun like 10 grams or something. And then I came across somebody who had spun it as a, what's the term? Combo spin style. And I was like, oh, I love this. I'm gonna pop a picture on the screen. I'll pop it over here. I saw this because Lauren shared it. And I was like, I'm going to do the same thing because that is stunning. So I'm doing the same thing. I have separated all my fiber into like teeny little bumps of fiber, and then I pull them at random as I'm coming upon needing a new one. It's gonna be so beautiful. I'm so excited. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with this, but I can't wait. To me, spinning and knitting are like different hobbies, so I don't necessarily spin with the intention of having a project. I just spin because I love it, with the caveat of I actually am spinning for a project. I will be spinning for a project coming up here, and when I start that, I will share more about it. But for the most part, I just spin because I enjoy it, and then put the yarn in my stash, and if a project comes up where I'm like, oh, I would like to use some hand spun for this, I then go searching through my yarn stash to see if anything will work. I don't know if that's the best way to do it, but that's how I like to do it, so it makes me happy. That's all that matters. I think that is everything work in progress wise that I wanted to share. I don't have any finished spins this month to share, just a bunch of works in progress. So I think that's all of the works in progress. The next thing I wanted to talk about is acquisitions. I'm counting them as 2 acquisitions that I want to share, but there's like several skeins. The first is I got my Lonely Socks Yarn Club from Sunday Fiber Co, which if you're unfamiliar, she is doing a monthly sock club inspired by Beatles songs. I wasn't going to do a sock club this year, and then I saw hers and I was like, oh, I have to do that. That's so cute. So I am doing Sunday Fiber Co's Lonely Socks Yarn Club. If you haven't received yours yet, look away if you don't want to be spoiled. I'll give you a second. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! Look how cute this is. These are the colorways Honey Pie and Sun King, and I just love them. They're so out of my color comfort zone. Like, these are not colors that I normally wear, and I absolutely love that. I think they're so beautiful, and I cannot wait to cast them on. I'm gonna make socks, of course. I think so. These colors I find don't look great on me because I have like olive undertones and like red overtones, so yellow's just not. I mean, I guess it's okay, it's fine, but some yellows make me look like a tomato. So I think exposing myself to yellows through socks is a great way to do it. And I just love it. I'm so excited. I forgot a work in progress. I'm not going to share that work in progress because it has yet to, it's a design work in progress. So I'm not going to share it yet, but it's using one of the other Lonely Socks Yarn Club sock sets. And it makes me so happy. I got the Kindred sock set, so this is non-superwash sock yarn, which I love. It is 100% untreated organic merino wool, and it is a dream to knit with. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. So yeah, that's my first acquisition. Oh, I have a third acquisition actually that I will share. My second acquisition is I placed an order from Wool and Twine Fiber Co. If you are unfamiliar, Wool and Twine is a dyer out of Germany who dyes non-superwash yarn with botanical dyes, and I have absolutely lusted over her yarn for so long. Eula designs the most beautiful yarn and colorways and stuff I've ever seen. She works with local shepherds and shepherdesses and local spinneries to spin the fleeces that she buys from the local shepherds, and then botanically dyes the yarn. And I was like, it's time. It is time for me to order from Wool and Twine. So I did. I bought one skein of her sock base. This is Ovis sock, which is a high twist, 50% Cheviot, 50% Jacobs yarn in the colorway Oxalis, which is coming off a little bit more red on camera. It's actually like a really dark burgundy. Beautiful. I had to literally resist so hard from casting this on immediately. But I have like 40 bajillion other socks on my needles, so need to finish those first. I got, 2 skeins of the Heirloom 4-ply, which is a custom spin from a very big spinnery in England. John Arbin. This is a custom spin by John Arbin for Eula. And this is the undyed colorway. This is 100% Exmoor Blueface fiber, undyed, and it's just the most beautiful dove gray with like such stunning depth, and you can see a little bit of hay there, which magical. And then I got 2 skeins of that same base in the colorway Peony. It's this stunning muted pink that I just adore. So I think I'm gonna do 2 little scarves or like shawlettes with these, because I'm in a very shawlette mini scarf mood right now. And I am so excited. They're both 3-ply, I think. But look like they're coming out at a fingering weight, so I am just so happy. Oh, I cannot wait. I have been lusting over her yarn for so long. So yeah, I'm very excited. And I have one final acquisition. I've currently added a little leather strap to it. It does not come with the bag, but I got a Knitting Swan project bag. I have loved these bags for so long. So long. And when I saw that these ones specifically were back in stock, I decided to treat myself. So I specifically wanted this pattern. I mean, she has many beautiful patterns, don't get me wrong. She has many beautiful patterns, but I love this one in particular. I love the little flower doodles. It looks like they're drawn on pen with pen. I know they're not, but like that's kind of the color vibe that I get. And I just love it. I've actually attached a little leather strap to the side, just for ease of carrying it around campus, because I've been bringing this with me. My Saskie sweater lives in it, and I love it so much. So yeah, those are my acquisitions for the month. I believe that is everything I wanted to talk about. So if you have made it this far, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I know this is a longer episode than I normally film. Usually my episodes are like half an hour. This is like almost an hour. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. It's so nice to be back filming again after a break for like a month. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a lovely rest of your week and happy knitting. Bye!